MrBeast flying economy was the first indication something was wrong. The guy who buys private islands was suddenly fighting for armrest space. It seemed random until Beast Games launched and everything clicked. The massive budget, the chaos, the entire bizarre experience. He understood high-budget YouTube videos weren't cutting it anymore.
I am standing on $5 million, the grand prize of the most insane competition show you've ever seen. And competing for it are these 1,000 contestants. Are you all ready? Yeah. Start the timer. With massive challenges. Welcome to the elimination train.
That has never been done on TV before.
The stakes have never been higher. If he misses, your entire team is gone.
I feel terrible. I let down my whole team.
Who is going to drop?
I'm in a literal insane asylum.
This challenge might be the most cutthroat thing I've ever done.
Honestly, people thought he could actually deliver. The guy who constructed Willy Wonka's factory, recreated Squid Game, and distributed so much money that TikTok noticed announced Beast Games. The $100 million, 2,000-player, real-life dystopian obstacle course for a $5 million prize. Everyone figured he understood what he was doing, and that was their first error. Beast Games was meant to be Jimmy's victory lap, demonstrating YouTubers were legitimate entertainment forces. Amazon purchased the rights for millions. Stadiums were transformed into fake mini-cities, and Jimmy promoted it as the next massive event. He guaranteed it would be the greatest game show ever created. That confidence should have been the first warning sign. The chaos started before the cameras even rolled. Contestants arrived in Las Vegas expecting history, but were given garbage bags to wear over their uniforms. Apparently major secrecy wasn't planned until thousands were already in Beast Games outfits. Then came the food and water problems. Contestants were essentially surviving off vibes and half an egg. Meals were hours apart, and portions were minuscule. Think hotel breakfast with zero effort, a pathetic scoop of oatmeal, a hard-boiled egg, and a cup of vegetables. Enough to keep a hamster functioning, but not anyone running obstacle courses.
There was a whole bunch of people talking about the poor conditions or they were being mistreated.
For me, my experience was if I'm going to go compete for $5 million, I don't expect it to be the Ritz-Carlton. So yeah, we all got sleeping bags, we slept on the floor, we got 3 meals a day.
What were the meals?
We had oatmeal, we had hard-boiled eggs, but it was kind of weird because we'd have dinner after we're done filming, and sometimes we'd have dinner like 5 o'clock in the morning because most of the
contestants reported that locating water was nearly impossible, with some having to beg staff for a drink, only to be instructed to push through. That's not encouragement, it's a massive red flag. People were collapsing from dehydration, heat exhaustion, panic attacks, and even seizures. Medics were repeatedly called in, handling conditions made worse by the lack of access to critical medication, which was withheld for days. One contestant experienced a seizure, while another collapsed after finally receiving food for the first time in 10 hours. The sleeping arrangements were even more terrible. Contestants slept shoulder to shoulder on the stadium floor in cheap $10 sleeping bags. There were no showers, no privacy, and hygiene became a scarce resource. A pink eye outbreak spread like wildfire, and COVID made its rounds too. The lack of proper communication meant contestants frequently missed meals and medical assistance, as instructions were yelled down the line like a twisted game of telephone. The challenges themselves were disorganized and dangerous. With no proper safety measures, people got trampled, women were tackled by men running at full speed, and one woman blacked out after being hit. The guy who tackled her just continued playing. Broken noses, sprained ankles, and concussions were handled like minor inconveniences. Meanwhile, the crew experienced their own nightmare with extended hours, unsafe working conditions, and even set pieces collapsing. In the end, Beast Games exposed the chaos behind the curtain. Even MrBeast acknowledged after the dust settled that some of his recent videos weren't meeting his standards. He tweeted, "I just want to say, I think some of our newer YouTube videos haven't been as good as I want. I apologize. Your boy is going into ultra grind mode to make the greatest content of my life in 2025. Promise." It's almost ironic to hear him promise a redemption arc after everyone had already witnessed the disaster firsthand.
I'm on dog duty tonight. Alright, so this isn't quite the video I thought I'd be filming today, but apparently the first video I made about MrBeast and his Beast Games is being suppressed and restricted on TikTok as of today. If you hadn't seen that video, it is still up on my YouTube and Twitter, but it had around 11 million views on TikTok. I was simply telling one of the contestants' stories who talks about what appears to have been a very dangerous and mismanaged set. The video I posted is now only viewable in the US. It is blocked in every other country. I have not received an email from TikTok explaining why this happened. As of right now, someone is trying to silence me. I'll let you guys try and guess who would do something like that. So I'm here to tell all of you that I will continue to talk about people's experience on Beast Games because I am genuinely concerned about their safety and well-being.
Rosanna Poncino received hundreds of messages from Beast Games contestants and crew exposing the chaotic conditions. MrBeast couldn't dismiss this as fake news. Rosanna became the voice for the people who experienced it, and when she shared evidence, the backlash erupted. Lawsuits followed for unsafe work conditions, medical negligence, emotional distress, wage violations, and lack of basic care. The irony, Beast Games had a $100 million budget, but couldn't provide basic necessities like water or functioning luggage storage. When the show premiered, the reviews were devastating. IGN gave it a 2 out of 10, calling it hollow, shallow suffering, and The Guardian labeled it dystopian human misery. MrBeast's defense only made things worse, claiming it was unfortunate that something so many worked on received a terrible rating. Hollywood has unions, safety protocols, and basic medical support. Beast Games had none of that. Despite a $100 million budget, the production felt like a disorganized backyard party. Contestants were starved, denied medication, injured, and had their luggage misplaced. It was a catastrophe on every level. What shocked everyone was that this came from MrBeast, who had built his reputation on generosity. Instead of a redemption arc, he followed up with Beastland, a strange theme park built in a country with minimal transparency. It appeared like an absurd cash grab more than a fan paradise, with strict filming rules, questionable labor practices, and zero accountability. Saudi Arabia isn't exactly known for workers' rights or freedom. The country has a freedom rating of 9 out of 100, which is worse than Russia. It's also one of the most oppressive places on Earth for women, LGBTQ+ people, and migrant workers. Building there wasn't accidental. It was a business decision. Saudi Arabia has been investing billions in what's called sports washing and entertainment washing, using major events and celebrity partnerships to distract from its human rights record. They've hosted Formula 1, WWE, massive concerts, and now MrBeast. The goal is simple: get famous people to smile, film happy content, and make the world forget about the darker reality. And that's exactly what happened with Beastland. MrBeast promoted it as a gift to fans, but the fine print told a different story. The terms and conditions were brutal. Guests automatically consented to being filmed without compensation. They couldn't bring professional cameras. They couldn't re-enter if they left. And any unauthorized recording could result in massive fines or forced deletion of footage. Essentially, the only footage allowed was what made Beastland look perfect. This wasn't about freedom or creativity, it was about control. Saudi Arabia dictates what can be filmed, where cameras can point, and what behavior is acceptable. While he marketed Beastland as a global gift to unite people, it was really part of a massive government-funded project. Turns out, MrBeast wasn't just choosing Saudi Arabia, he was paid to be there. Paid to establish his brand on a 45-day desert pop-up that would disappear as quickly as it appeared. It was obvious Beastland wasn't built to last.
Today we're at Beastland by MrBeast here in Riyadh and his opening day, so come with us and check out what there is to do inside. Let's go. We're now inside Beastland and it looks absolutely incredible, and we've noticed that there is a countdown over here for some reason, so they're saying get to the stage. We need to go. We need to find out what's going on. There's a little meet and greet area over here. We don't actually recognise anyone yet though.
Something massive is waking up at Beast Arena. You know, you got the wristband, and when you play the games,
The barriers are open and we're following everyone. I don't know where to, but someone. So there's all the money. I can't remember what the top prize was, but there's about 300,000 riyals in one of these. So we headed through to the Beast Arena and there was so many different games that you could take part in. This one I was definitely not giving a go, the bungee jumping, but it was so much fun, and you can buy a wristband with all the games included. Or if you simply just want to enter and enjoy Beastland in the whole experience, then it's only 25 SAR per person. They had so many merch shops around with all of the Feastables and limited edition merch, which was actually very affordable, as well as all the games that are inside Beast Arena, which are inspired inspired by the show. There was also carnival games, rides, and so many food stalls. It was so much fun, and just being here was such a good vibe. I definitely recommend checking it out before it ends in 45 days.
Everything about Beastland felt temporary, like a massive group project abandoned after submission. When people discovered the park's terms and conditions, the excitement shifted to skepticism. No professional cameras allowed, no re-entry, and guests automatically consenting to being filmed. One wrong angle or shot, and you could face enormous fines or be forced to delete your footage. It's ironic that MrBeast, the most filmed person on YouTube, built a park in a place where filming the wrong thing could destroy your life. The park felt less like a fun destination and more like a polished image. This raised serious moral concerns. MrBeast had countless locations to choose from, but he built in a country with strict censorship, worker exploitation, and harsh civil restrictions. And then there's the labor. You don't construct a desert amusement park without workers. Saudi Arabia has a disturbing history of poor labor conditions for migrant workers, underpaid, overworked, and subjected to brutal heat. Beastland's massive structures raised the obvious question: who built it, and under what conditions? But filming restrictions erased any chance of revealing the truth behind the scenes. This shift made MrBeast appear less like a creator and more like a corporate brand. He wasn't building in a safe, transparent location. He was building where he was paid to. While he smiled in promo footage, workers likely endured harsh conditions. Other creators like DanTDM and Jacksepticeye saw this change, calling out MrBeast for prioritizing branding over people. Beastland wasn't a passion project or a fan experience. It was a corporate partnership, a shiny cover-up for a deal that benefited branding more than fans. His brand is built on being relatable and generous, but Beastland showed how far he had drifted. After 45 days, the attraction closed and it was all packed away, leaving nothing permanent or meaningful, just a flashy spectacle and a large paycheck.
When we were talking about MrBeast's controversies, it's like, in a certain sense, now that he's had them, they know that it doesn't really matter anymore. Like, of course, there are still worse things he could do. I think there are things that he could do that would, like, break down the empire. But I do think that these companies and these brands have realized over the past, like, 5 years in particular, that the longevity of the influencer does not depend on how bad the controversy gets. Like, I imagine that the lesson from Logan Paul, for example, was like, oh yeah, at a certain point after the Suicide Forest video, it seemed like Logan would never make money again. But the reality is that he makes exponentially more money now than he did before, during, or after that controversy. So it's like, in a weird way, I think that the brands almost push the creators more than the audience even pushes the creator.
I think cancellation in general, when it comes to these style of influencers, is now a myth. I don't think an influencer outside of an extreme grooming or sexual assault scandal can't bump back from any sort of controversy at this point. You know, Trisha Paytas is doing better than she's ever done before. Jeffree Star is still thriving.
Dr. Disrespect still exists.
Oh, Guy Beam is just, he's doing photo shoots and thriving with his weird audience. Because you can't be really canceled anymore, because you find all it takes is a weird niche audience that can fund your content for a really long time. You don't really need to go mainstream. You know, the Guy Beam, I'm not calling him the Doc, I refuse, is never going to hit that same level that he hit in the, pre-2020 TwitchCon era. He's now sort of cemented himself as an anti-cancel culture warrior. And the audience that's fallen for it is willing to give him enough that he can survive. Influencers don't need to be for everyone anymore. They can just sort of find their micro niche and thrive in a way that really didn't work just 5 years ago.
What makes this worse is that MrBeast ignored all the serious concerns, filming rules, safety, labor issues, and moral questions. He stuck to surface-level promotions and exciting clips, hoping the problems would vanish, but instead, they made him seem more disconnected. The image of the untouchable creator is fading. He's no longer the guy handing out cash. His actions now feel more calculated, more corporate. MrBeast is expanding into food apps, restaurants, AI tools, and brand partnerships that don't always align with his original persona. He's still massive, breaking records, but something has changed. He doesn't seem like the fun, wild creator anymore. He now looks like a corporation hiding behind the image of one. So yeah, let me know what you think about MrBeast's controversies. Do you think he'll actually address these issues, or will he just keep moving forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It genuinely helps out more than you realize. Thanks for watching. I'm out.